Hey there, and welcome back, focused learners. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for another explainer. Today, we're diving into a concept that fundamentally transforms the way we approach problems and, really, just how we work with others. We are unpacking Stephen Covey's celebrated habit 6, Synergise. We're going to see exactly why this isn't just some overused corporate buzzword, but an incredibly practical tool that unlocks massive creative potential when different minds come together.
Okay, I want to start by asking you a question that honestly sounds like a mathematical impossibility. Can 1 plus 1 equal 3? Or even more? Well, in standard arithmetic, absolutely not. No way. But in the realm of human interaction and diverse ideation, this equation is the absolute core of our topic today. Because when we truly synergize, the math changes completely.
All right, let's dive into this roadmap. Today we're going to cover 1. The magic of synergy, 2. Valuing our differences, 3. The TVET funding challenge, 4. Cross-departmental IGA success, and 5. Unlocking your team's potential. So jumping right into Section 1, the magic of synergy.
So what does this actually mean in practice? Stephen Covey breaks synergy down pretty simply. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. But you know, the real secret ingredient is this. The relationship between the parts is a part in and of itself. That mathematical impossibility of 1 plus 1 equaling 3, it happens because the trust and the creative friction between two people becomes this incredibly powerful catalytic new element in the equation.
To really wrap our heads around this, let's look at how it builds in the natural world. Covey uses this brilliant ecological metaphor. If you plant two plants close together, their roots commingle and actually improve the quality of the soil for both of them. Or if you put two pieces of wood together, they can hold much more weight than the total weight they could hold separately. So, synergy isn't just a management theory you read in a textbook, it's a fundamental law of nature.
Moving right along to Section 2, valuing our differences.
Now, to actually achieve synergy, we really have to look at the underlying psychology here. Think about your own workplace for a second. Have you ever encountered a scarcity mentality? This is where people hoard ideas, communicate defensively, and view any difference of opinion as a sign of disloyalty. It's toxic. Contrast that with the abundance mentality. This mindset flows from a deep sense of personal security. It leads to creative cooperation, sharing recognition, and deeply valuing differences. Because, let's be real, you cannot have synergy if you expect everyone to think exactly like you. The very essence of synergy is valuing those differences.
And when we truly value those differences and bring an abundance mentality to the table, we don't just reach a compromise. Compromise is just when everyone gives up a little bit of what they want, right? Nobody is truly happy. Instead, we create what Covey calls third alternatives. By building on each other's strengths and compensating for weaknesses, a diverse group creates a mutually beneficial solution that is significantly better and way more innovative than what either individual proposed at the very beginning.
Which brings us to a real-world example in Section 3, the TVET funding challenge.
Let's pivot to something really concrete. In Kenya, educational leaders in technical and vocational education and training, or TVET, face an immense challenge. They are under massive pressure from stagnant funding and are suddenly expected to generate a chunk of their own institutional revenue, all while their departments are working in totally isolated silos. Solo ideation entirely fails here. They can't just think their way out of this alone. The strategy they desperately need is to generate self-funding via income-generating activities, or IGAs. And the tool to pull this off? A targeted program blending the 7 habits with a human-centered design approach.
So Covey's 7 Habits framework was actually integrated into a comprehensive 5-day training program for these principles. The whole goal was to shift them from that reactive, scarcity mindset we talked about into a highly synergistic one. To build viable income streams, they really had to learn how to lead themselves and their staff through significant change, transforming their institutional assets and community needs into actual financial sustainability.
Let's see how that turned out in Section 4, cross-departmental IGA success.
Imagine one of these TVET institutions trying to create a new income stream. If the welding department brainstorms alone, sure, they have the technical skills, but they might build something nobody in the community actually wants to buy. Now, if the accounting department works alone, they know the business feasibility. But let's face it, you can't sell a spreadsheet. But when you combine the technical skills of the welders, the financial acumen of the accountants, and the real market needs of the community, boom, you create a viable product that neither silo could ever build alone. That is synergy.
So how did they get there?
Well, step 1 was empathy synthesis, basically pooling real data from interviews with staff, students, and local employers. Step 2 was cross-departmental ideation. They took that data and started brainstorming how might we questions, totally unfiltered. Step 3 was prototyping a combined service. A brilliant example that actually came out of this exact synergistic process was a welding workshop's after-hours repair service. It used existing equipment, pulled in different departmental skills, and served a direct, immediate need in the community.
The impact of this process is honestly massive. When you involve diverse people in a problem and truly immerse them in it, something incredible happens. It unfreezes restraining forces. People literally stop saying, well, that's not my department. Actually, scratch that. It goes further. It transforms that initial resistance into driving energy because people finally feel ownership over the solution. For these TVET principles, this meant leaving the workshop not just with some nice ideas, but with peer-tested concepts and fully committed 90-day action plans.
Bringing it all home in Section 5, Unlocking Your Team's Potential.
So, the crucial point here is that the difference in ideation output is stark. Individual brainstorming feels safe, sure, but it is inherently limited by a single set of life experiences and blind spots. Remember the wood metaphor? It's just a single piece of wood. Diverse groups drastically outperform individuals because of that cognitive friction. When you combine different skill sets, one person's crazy idea sparks a practical application in someone else's mind. They tap into entirely unused potential, compensating for each other's blind spots and compounding their strengths to reach true third alternatives.
So I want to leave you with a final, slightly provocative question. What unused potential is just sitting there waiting in your team right now? Where are the silos in your organization that are hoarding ideas because of a scarcity mentality? How can you start applying Habit 6 today to combine the unique roots of your colleagues to yield a better harvest? Synergy is not just a happy accident, folks. It is a deliberate, conscious practice of valuing differences. So go out there, find your third alternatives, and start making 1 + 1 = 3. Thanks so much for focusing with me today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.